shame, fear, rejection. In a world that loves illusions, living your truth can invoke these feelings. Author and restaurateur G. Smalls knows this feeling all too well. On this episode of Heart to Heart, this sexually fluid activist talks about claiming his truth and finding love along the way. He also reveals how his life changed when he divorced the mother of his son and married a man. Hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to Heart today. I have the amazing and distinct pleasure talking to my brother who is a father, husband, life and relationship coach, entrepreneur, philanthropist, author, executive chef, and restaurateur, the amazing G. Smalls. What's up, brother? Good to see you on today,
What's up, man? It looked like you did a little research somewhere.
Well, I've known you for quite a while now, and
you have.
And it's an honor to be able to talk to you on this level outside of the relational space we have, because just as the presence that you are, what you represent in the LGBTQ community and the Black community as a whole, the message that you're speaking right now is something that's really resonating and really hitting a mark I'm really excited to talk about. How do you feel about where you are right now with everything that's going on with your new book and the restaurant?
I am grateful. I am extremely grateful to be in the space that I am. I spent a lot of time putting in a lot of work, a lot of I wouldn't say unnecessary, but in my life I've dealt with a lot of guilt over years for whatever reason, and so it's been my work to not feel guilty because I blocked my manifestation. So I spent so many years being stuck. And I feel like I spent maybe a little long.
Are you frozen?
Oh, Jesus.
Uh-oh, you froze up on us. That's a funny pose too.
Can you see?
Okay, I can see you now.
Okay. So yeah, to be in the space that I am now, I'm extremely grateful for it. Because it just took me a long time to get here. And I'm extremely grateful for the experience.
I'm a pause. Since is early on, we can redo that. We can make sure your intro at least is right. I want people to make sure they see the right thing when you come in, so it's all good. So I'll just do the quick thing to start over, and then I'm grateful. There you go. All right, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to Heart. Today, I have the illustrious pleasure of talking to my friend and brother, the amazing G. Smalls, who is a father, an entrepreneur, a husband, a life and relationship coach, a philanthropist, an author, executive chef, and restaurateur. I know him as G, and those who know him affectionately know him the same way. But G, thank you so much for being on today, my brother. How are you feeling?
I am feeling great. I'm a little tired today because I actually just came back from a little mini vacation. So that's why I got my tan on. Feeling real black enough today. But yeah, I'm feeling extremely good. I'm glad to be here. We've known each other for years. You've actually known me in all the capacities that you just listed. So I love to have these type of interviews because it's a true connection already there. So thank you for having me.
Absolutely, brother. I'm really honored to see the work you're doing. This new book that you have out and the restaurant are both speaking to what our culture needs to see, which is more representation of people in the LGBTQ community doing things that cross over that boundary. And so really glad to say, how do you feel about the fact that you are representing on so many levels?
Man, I am grateful. I am extremely grateful. And it's so interesting that you just said to be able, a person in the LGBT community to be able to, I don't know what the terminology you use, but to pretty much go, and to kind of go a little bit more broad, and to be in mainstream spaces, if you will, because that was actually never the plan with the restaurant. The restaurant started off because we wanted to provide a space for Black men in our community to feel safe, loved, and affirmed, and not just only tolerated like a lot of the spaces here in Atlanta are. We would go to these spaces, and because it was spaces that were gay, but not necessarily Black friendly. So that's why we wanted to open the restaurant. But when we found the space, we decided that we had to serve food. So we was going to serve the Gullah Geechee culture food from where I'm from.
Right.
And that opened the door and opened the vision to be something just outside. Why it still is a space for Black men in our community to come and feel loved and affirmed. It's ours. We own it. But we can welcome other people into our spaces now. You know what I mean? So I'm grateful that it evolved beyond whatever I could have imagined.
It's a testament. You've been featured in many different spaces, and you were on Good Morning America just a week or so ago.
Yeah.
And you were on there with your son and your husband. How did that feel to be able to share that kind of moment with them?
Man, touching, extremely touching to be able to have my family sit up there with me and us just be on a platform that you typically don't see families like that. Mm-hmm. You may be able to see it in fiction, but you don't see the reality of it very often. With social media, you may see some stuff, but to be on Good Morning America as a Black man in the LGBTQ community with my husband of 12 years and with my son who's 20, I mean, it's a full circle moment for me. It's a good omen that allows me to know that I am on the right path. Because sometimes you can have those moments like, God, am I supposed to be doing this? But it's things like that. It's the inbox messages. It's those type of things that it affirms me.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're getting those DMs and those messages from people because the work you're doing is encouraging, even if you're not trying to be motivational in a sense. Your very presence is, and it gives hope to a lot of people. Now, for you particularly, I've, as you stated earlier, I have seen you in different capacities. I've certainly seen you in a space where you were maybe a bit more conservative than you are now in your thought process and some of your beliefs. And I really want to deal with this part when people evolve, when people learn more about themselves. And how did you come to the point where you could say, I desire to live more free than I have been?
Whew. It's been 20 years in the making, and it evolves over time. I believe the first courageous step I made was leaving my ex-wife. And I was 25 at the time, maybe. Wow. That was the first most courageous thing I had done. This woman I have known for 12 years and been with for 12 years. Was most courageous. And it wasn't me stepping out to now be gay.
Right.
Now, while I was dealing with sexuality issues at the time and that struggle, but I mean, I was also dealing with being very young as well. And so for me to be able to feel like I was leaving something that everybody wanted me to do and what I was supposed to be doing, that was extremely courageous for me. And since then, it's evolved and it's evolved and it's evolved over time. And I believe another large part of that was getting married to my now husband was extremely courageous. It was something that nobody really was doing back then. I had just recently came out. So now it's like, damn, now I'm getting married. But then through the relationship, man, when you're in a relationship for 13 years, that has no choice but to hopefully evolve you, right?
Yes.
And it's a continuous mirror because it's a continuous challenge of seeing myself. So I contribute a lot of my being completely free. And I feel like I'm about maybe 75% free, I'm working on that 100. I met one, I was maybe 50%, you know what I'm saying? But, I just got tired of trying to live for other people. And I also know when I do anything authentically, it always turns out best for me. And spiritually, I know I wanted to evolve, so I know I had to be completely authentic. And that's where the road to the book came from as well. As you know, I attribute starting the book to you, and I even gave you a little shout out in the end of the book. But when you approached us that time, and you and Juan, when are you guys coming out with this book? And this was like 2015, maybe. Yeah. We started that process, and then it ended up being my process to write the book, right? And one thing we named the restaurant Virgil's because of him being a spiritual guide for us. And my father spoke to me through this process, and all of my worry and what I was revealing in the book, he just kept telling me, this is beyond you. This ain't really even for you. While it's going to do a lot for you, this is a lot to free other people as well. And so when I tell you, when the book came out, when I click publish, when it was out to the public,
yes,
oh man, it was so freeing. Even though nobody had read it yet, I just had click publish. Nobody had read it yet, but it was so freeing. And since then, I mean, it's been out for 7 or 8 months now, and this has been the most amazing journey that I have been on ever, because I mean, I feel like I am almost at 100% authentic, and just living completely free. And I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be here.
It warms my heart to hear that, because I know the journey of becoming is never one that is a straight line. It's always got its curves, its jagged edges, and its crossroads. What were some parts where you feel like, man, maybe I should have done that differently? What's a moment that you can look back on this process of becoming and say, ooh, I could have done a little bit better here?
I mean, I think so. I will say I don't have any regrets, because as you know, we go down our paths. I don't ever believe there are wrong turns or right or wrongs. It just is, and it's that journey that's going to teach you about yourself. So I don't think there's anything that I would say I would go back to change or what I could have done better. But I will say, when I am at those same type of crossroads or faced with those same type of decisions, I can make a higher choice.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I can now make a higher choice. There's been things in relationship that I feel like things I might have not been authentic about when it comes to my relationship in the past, that I'm more authentic and can make a higher choice now, because I know that anything that I'm not willing to reveal about myself is something that makes me insecure, right? Yeah. And so our ego protects us from that insecurity, and that's not right or wrong, right? We learned that in childhood. It's a barrier for us, but I know that I will be okay in not being authentic. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's powerful, man. I'm glad that you said it that way, because that is so true. There's not necessarily a right and wrong. There is what I am cognizant of now, and making decisions based on what I know. I think we really do a disservice in calling people good or bad.
Yes.
In the sense of their decision making. I mean, I was thinking about it the other day. I was thinking, like, we don't get frustrated when babies throw up on people, and when they, poo-poo all over the floor, and when our new dog is messing up the carpet and all that kind of stuff, because we understand that they don't know better right now.
Right.
And it's kind of like, we don't treat people like that. It's like, if you grow, you should automatically know better.
You don't have the same grace or compassion for adults. And we have these journeys. I mean, I can be 30 years old, but still have a 12 or 13-year-old mind, whatever that means, right? So I think you exactly right in that. Like, right or wrong is, and when I was able to realize that there's no right or wrong, because all it is judgment. I'm judging something based off of my own experience, and I'm judging you for it, because there's something that I can say is, some people think sex before marriage is wrong.
Right. I
don't think it's wrong. You know what I mean? That's based off of my experience and based off of theirs, but who's right or wrong? Nobody.
It's what's right and wrong for you. And
exactly.
As long as that fits. Now, I will say, to that point, this word of enough, because even though in the book title, on the cover, it's in smaller letters than Black and Man, it is a huge thing, right? Well, so what is this thought of enough for you? What does enough mean?
So enough means, for me, that I don't have to do anything to be validated or be worthy. Just how I show up today, I am enough. Now, the theme of the book is Black enough, man enough, because as a biracial Black man, I have spent most of my life proving my Blackness and trying to be Black enough, and what it meant for me to be a Black man. Yes. And as a sexually fluid man, I spent most of my life trying to figure out, what did it mean for me to be man enough, in society? What does that really look like? And I don't really think that that's so particular to LGBT men. I think a lot of Black men generally, biracial or not, have this thing of what does it mean to be a black man, or how do you live up to being a black man, or what does it mean to be masculine or a man? Like we have that pressure on us. And so, but while that's the theme throughout the book, I continuously showed up in every situation not feeling worthy, not feeling like I was enough. And so that showed up in me attaching certain behaviors to feeling like I was enough, you know? And so for me, I don't have to do anything to know that I am enough, but to know that I am enough, period. So that's what it means.
An example of that for somebody who's listening, you're like, what do you mean you attach that action to feeling like you're man enough? What's one thing you did?
So feeling man enough is walking a certain way.
Yeah.
You know, I believe we all learn how to walk, for one, as a man.
Yeah.
But a black man has a walk too. You have to have that swag, right?
They did that in the new Coming to America movie. Actually, they were
It's evolved over the time. But you know, when I was coming up, it was about walking with that bump. You know what I'm saying? You know, you had the bump when you walk, and so you know, you start learning that through adolescence and when you're going through puberty and getting through middle school, what it means to stand up, what it means not to hold my hand like this, you know. And so those are the things that I felt like I was trying to be man enough. When it comes to black enough, although my hair wasn't typically like the typical black man, I tried to do. I wanted a Jerry curl. No, my hair was like the barge. Okay, why am I putting a Jerry curl in my hair? Because that's what black people did, and that's what I wanted to feel black enough. In my relationship and feeling worthy overall, I used to attach sex with my worthiness. And so when Juan and I got together, I attached how much he desired me with how much he wanted to have sex with me. And for me, as I had a high sex drive, and him having a person with a low sex drive, that became a real issue for us, because if you're not wanting to have sex with me every day, then you must not love me as much as I love you. You know, so it took me a lot of years to get through that. And so that was another example of how just being enough and what I attached love to that, you know? So, man, it's a continuous process.
That is.
You're all I need to get by. You're all I need to get by. Listen, like sweet morning dew, I took one look at you, and it was plain to see you were my destiny. With arms open wide, I threw away my pride. I'll sacrifice for you, dedicate my life for you. I will go where you lead, always there in time of need. And if I lose my will, you'll be there to push me up the hill. There's no looking back for us. We got love and show no that's enough. And you're all I need. You're all I need to get by. Yeah. Like an eagle protects his nest, for you I'll do my best. Stand by you like a tree, dare anybody to move me, yeah, darling. And you found strength where I was torn down. I don't know what else is in store, but we can open any door. Just do what's good for you, and I'll inspire you a little higher. I know you can make a man out of any song, 'cause we got the right foundation, and with our love and determination, you're all I need. You're all I need to get
relationship and to that point about it, being a bisexual man, was there ever an issue with the fact of you saying, hey, to your gay partner, hey, I'm bisexual?
So, not really. Not really. I don't think, to be honest with you, in our community, I don't believe people take bisexual seriously. And so, especially men who are dating other men, are you a bisexual? Boy, please, you're just gay. You know what I'm saying? Right. I don't think it ever really came up. You know what I mean? And when I started dating men, and I've identified myself as straight at one point, as bisexual as one point, as gay as one point, back to bi, same gender loving. Yes. Now I just consider myself fluid because as being 44, being almost 44 now, I've experienced a lot of fluidity throughout my sexuality. I've arrived at a place where I find myself attracted to be anyone, you know what I mean? But I've only dealt with men since I started dealing with men. Yes. I think a big part of that is because I still have insecurities when it comes to women. It's a lot, and I believe this is a lot with bisexual men. It's so much easier to date men. Yeah. One, the women ain't really gonna want to date you. It's gonna be harder to be honest, right?
Once you say you deal with any man at all, yes.
You know, it's easier to deal with men. It's much easier to have sex with men than women. It comes easier. So I think a lot of bisexual men end up living more gay lifestyle, if you will, of dating only men because it's just easier. And then obviously people know that I'm married. I'm married for 13 years. And although we have an open relationship and I can have sex with a woman if I wanted to, I am not completely comfortable with it yet. You know what I mean? And I believe I'm going to get there because it's something I still desire and I want to experience. But I don't think I'm there yet. Maybe it'll happen.
Hey, take it day by day. I get that, and being able to be open and honest about your sexual fluidity is probably what's helped you get to that 70%, so that you can walk in.
Yeah, because people judge sex the most.
Oh yes,
you know what I mean. They judge it the most, and it's the being open with my husband. People judge that the most too. So that was very big for me to tell. You know, although it's been 7 years since since we've been open. It's only been until recently. Now I would share with people on one-on-one, but on a public platform, this is the first time I've done that. But no, I mean, that's been that shocked me way over, shocked me right up. You know what I mean?
Seriously. Yeah, that person that you're sharing your heart and your life and your soul with, and your child put in the same house, so I get it. Being able to be that open, isn't that what a relationship is about? Yeah, freeing you. I just posted this the other day. People, relationships should not hold you hostage. It should free you more and more and more and more, because through your relationship, you should be able to be more and more authentic. And it is being authentic that makes a secure relationship, and to know that you're truly loved for who you are. Because if you're not showing up every day for who you are, you don't really know if that person really loves you for real. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't love you for real, because you can't even be yourself. That's good. That's
you can't even be yourself.
I think a lot of people do fall in love with the image of a person, the hope of a person, the maybe one day they will be of a person, instead of the is of a person. Like, this is who you are, and who you will be, I have no idea. It could go left or right, but who you are right now, I love and I accept who you are today. Am I going to like everything about you and how you show up every day? Hell no. I don't like a lot of shit about my mama or my son, or my son for that matter. But do I love them or leave them? No. But if your partner shows up in a way you don't like, you'd be like, deuces. That's not acceptable. That's not acceptable for me. Bye. Sorry. That's why a lot of relationships fall apart, because they think it's supposed, you're supposed to be, relationships are really, really 80-20. A person cannot be 100% to you. And you're not going to like 100% about a person. That is so true. Now, as a figure in the community, in the LGBT community and the Black community, have you felt pressure to be a figure? Like, have you felt that pressure? You've had, you've had years to practice with Gentlemen's Ball and all these things, but as a more solo figure right now, do you feel that pressure? Yeah, right now, no. I don't feel that pressure right now, no. I used to feel that pressure of
showing up a certain way and what it meant to, co-own a nonprofit. This is how I stand. This is how I show up. This is how I speak. And
Yes.
that, I don't feel that way anymore. I don't change the way I talk anymore. A lot of people notice a lot more often I'm a lot more geeky than I used to be because I'm just a lot more comfortable because growing up, you weren't supposed to talk like that. You know what I mean? I don't care that people know that I smoke weed, because you're not supposed to smoke weed as this entrepreneur person. But that's not what I believe.
Yes.
Why am I letting other people's opinion, having that type of infraction on my life? And the same thing when it comes to my relationship, I believe that's been the biggest pressure because I think when Juan and I came out in the community together, we got married. Everybody just saw us as this, and what did that really mean? You know what I mean? And although we've tried to be extremely open, throughout the years, it was still pressure to be a certain way in that relationship. But I'm free from that shit now.
I'm so happy.
Yeah,
I saw the pressure throughout the years, and I saw the wanting to, represent the community.
This brand, what does this brand really mean?
Brand.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, what does the brand need?
You can feel a lot of pressure from that brand and pressure within the relationship. You kind of get stuck in that. Juan and G. People still to this day always will call me Juan. That's very cute. That's very cute in the beginning of relationships. Like, oh, matching outfits and we're so together. Over the years, you're like, oh shit, well, who's G by himself? Who's Juan by himself? And so in having this business together, now it's this kind of brand that we morphed into, didn't even plan to be here. Now it's like, well, shit, but you go through the process, and you authentically become you, hopefully.
That's it. I get it. Trust me, I get it. Let me ask, what is next for you in the sense of your goals and ambition?
What's next? So there will definitely be another Virgil's.
Yes.
More Virgils. We would definitely open up more Virgils. I want to travel a lot more and be able to live life without so many restrictions and so many obligations. So I'm about really living as free as I can. And so with that, you have to create multiple streams of income. So I'm really like in this power mode of really trying to create all these multiple streams of income, things that not necessarily are public. But things are really to secure my life and secure my legacy and my son's legacy. That's really important for me too. Over the years, we've tried to do reality TV and docu-series. That's still on the table. I know it's probably a matter of time before that happens as well.
Yeah.
I also want to, write more books. While this book journey started off as Juan and I were supposed to be writing a book together, like a self-help. A self-help, use a little bit of our story, give a lesson type of situation. And while this book does talk a lot about our relationship, it's not just about our relationship. So I do still want to focus on a book about relationships and fatherhood. So those are a couple of things I want to do too. But yeah, that's in my foreseeable future.
I love all of it. Now, I have a little game that I like to play. It's really easy. It is basically a lightning round here where we're just give one word or phrase. And so I'll practice with you this simply. And I state it like I'm saying it myself. So I am from
Charleston, South Carolina.
All right, you got it. So easy here. I experience love when
I am being myself.
That's good. The purpose of forgiveness is?
The purpose of forgiveness is to free yourself.
Food heaven is when I'm eating.
Food heaven is when I am eating seafood.
Particular one in a particular dish?
Lobster. I love lobster.
Yeah, I'm all for lobster too.
Yeah.
An artist I can sit to and listen on a rainy day is?
Erykah Badu.
On and on?
On and on. I can listen to everything. I love me some Erykah Badu.
I love that. I feel most fulfilled when?
I'm on the beach.
Well, that's why you were just there, right?
It really is. I feel so connected to myself when I am on the beach. Man,
It's something about having your feet in the sand and
Hmm.
feeling the salt water and just, yeah,
Yeah,
life, the breeze,
yeah,
all of
yeah.
that. What's the biggest obstacle to your peace?
Not trying to please others. I am and have been a people pleaser, and I believe that is because trying to be black or man enough would be enough. Um, I have been a people pleaser, and so I can still get caught up in that sometimes. I want people to like me, and that's another part of the being free is being free from wanting people to like you.
Yes.
Uh, and so and to me that when trying to make people like you or trying to please others is never a peaceful place to be. And so that's been my challenge over the years and in keeping my peace.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
What's the word that describes why you are here?
Love.
Hmm, that's good.
Love is all there is.
Love is all there
Is
is.
all
You
there
know,
is.
we know. You know, we know.
Uh-huh.
If you could erase any habit, any challenge, or any disease, what would it be?
Unhealthy eating.
Mm, that's good
Unhealthy
for a
eating.
restaurateur to say that.
It is, and my food is not that healthy either. My food has been all my life my biggest addiction. I grew up a fat boy, unhealthy. And it's still a struggle today. And I know that unhealthy eating is the biggest addiction we have as people. It
Yes.
causes the most stress, the most diseases, all of those things. So definitely unhealthy eating.
I have to agree with that completely.
Yeah.
Since I've changed some of my eating habits, I've completely felt a difference in my
Yeah. Yeah.
every
You just feel better. You're clear. I mean,
truth.
yeah.
Yeah, I was listening to this guru. He said, "You are literally what you eat," and I know we say that, but you think about it, everything that is in your body and everything that you become is literally because of that.
Yes.
Um,
Even from your skin,
I mean, everything that you deal with,
your aches, all that stuff.
all of it, how tired you are, how much energy you have, all of it.
Mhm.
Now, I would love for you to tell me a person that inspires you today that's living and someone who inspires you who has gone on.
God, there's so many that inspires me. But right off the cuff, my auntie Oprah inspires me so much.
Doesn't she know? Oh,
She
God.
does. She's opened the doors a lot for me when it comes to love and forgiveness and those things.
Mm,
Um, Inspires me beyond the grave would be my father.
mm,
He has been an inspiration for me throughout my life, but he's even become more of an inspiration beyond the grave.
mm.
I realize a lot of his purpose in my life, and you have everybody I think has some sort of parental trauma to get through, right? Our parents are not perfect; they're human, and so. But beyond the grave and him being that spiritual guy for me, he's been my inspiration.
I love that.
Yep.
This one here, I'll go easy on you. Last one. If you could go back in time and say anything, whisper anything into your younger self's ear, what would you say?
You are enough. That's easy.
That- right on brand. I love it. Thank you so much for
You're
being
welcome,
on
man.
with me,
This has
brother.
been so good. It's been fulfilling.
It's a great reunion of sorts. I haven't really been able to see you as much as I
Yeah.
love to, but so glad to be able to talk to you, especially about this work that you were able to complete and how amazing it is, and to see the impact of it on the community and on the lives of those who are reading it, and just even hearing about it, having discussion groups about it. It's doing a great work, and so thank you for even committing to that process of writing, because I know about writing,
Yeah.
the commitment and energy and time and mental dexterity that it takes to get it done. Yes, bravo to you.
Thank
Yeah.
you. I received that. You are very welcome. And I appreciate again for having me on. And I also appreciate, the message of love that you're spreading out there, because it's not enough of those messages, man. So please keep rocking.
Thank you, brother. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
you. Look, have a beautiful day, and tell everybody where they can find you in case they're coming across this and don't know who you are. Which would you say?
Yes, sir. They can find me at G Smalls, GEESMALLS on all platforms and gsmalls.com.
Perfect. Have a great day, G.
You too. Thank you, brother.
Peace.